Welcome to SSDD Studio. We all need help sometimes. This is something tourism in Skåne seems to be well aware of.
The next talk will be about two projects, one addressing undesirable visitor behavior and one about one-time use articles where tourism in Skåne joined forces with others to solve problems bigger than what they could have done themselves.
In this conversation, we hope we will learn more about design thinking, working in teams with its pros and cons, and innovation, all in relation to sustainable tourism. Next up is the talk Tourism Matters. Give them an applaud.
Okay, hi and welcome everyone. I'm super happy to be here today. My name is Josephine and I work as head of nature tourism at Tourism in Skåne. I'm not alone here today, as you can see. We have a panel with the participants from two different innovation processes that we have run. And I will go in and introduce you in a short bit. But first of all, I just wanted to give you a little background to why we are actually here today. And it's not, perhaps innovation is not the first thing you think of when you think of a tourism organization, which Tourism in Skåne is, a DMO, a destination managing organization. But we all see what's happening with the planet, with the climate changes. We're all different companies are making up plans how they should work towards the SDGs, the sustainable destination. No, help me out.
Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you. And so are we. And we actually initiated a strategic roadmap called Tourism Matters, the very same headline as we have here today. So together with municipalities in Skåne, we formulated a roadmap for how we see that tourism needs to change and that tourism can be part of the societal changes and the solutions that we need to come up with in the future. And we saw that there was an increase of many people coming out to see the nature during the pandemic. We saw that people tended to go to the same spots and places because you go to the places you know, the places you heard of, the places you can Google, and that tended to be the nature reserves and the national parks. And with that increase of people in the same spot, for example, we had Kulleberg Nature Reserve having over 2,000 cars in one sunny Saturday instead of having 300 cars, which is the actual limit for how many people they can have there. So we saw also, with this increase of people, we also saw a change of behavior. And that's why we wanted to make, how can we help as a DMO? How can we make a difference in this? We also know that there's a lot of organizations working on strategic communication plans and marketing campaigns, trying to get people to act in a certain way. And we think that we need to think differently, and we need to think in another way, and we need to collaborate more. So that's how we use innovation. And one of the projects that we will talk more about today is Project Footprints. That was also initiated since we saw this increase of people coming into nature. We held a social media campaign, an open call to make people apply to be a part of an innovation camp, sort of, that would take place at Söderåsen National Park, because that's one of the places we saw had a lot of issues with parkings getting filled up, a lot of people in the same spots. And the team of 10 people, their aim and their task was to try to find solutions for how we can change our behavior on when we go to a special place, to a national park like this was, and to see if we can find a sense of stewardship, a sense of responsibility, a connectedness to that place. So that was actually the team's problem, or what they were standing in front of. And we're also working a lot with the food and drinking theme, because we have the luxury in Skåne to have a lot of driven and creative companies working in the food and drinking industry. And we also see that how can we help in that area? Because we know that we are marketing food and drinking events. And how can is there anything we can do to help out to make the visitor to a drinking event do better choices? Is there a way we can help out? So that's also a project that we initiated called Gastrolution Nytänkarverkstan, which is also one of the projects that we will be talking about today. So innovation for us is that we need to do something differently. We need to think new. We need to do it collaborate with others. We need to have stakeholders on board to know that this is not going to stay in just a PDF or a report. We want this to actually become an action, and we want to try solutions. It's very important for us. And yeah, I think it's time for me to introduce the panel here, because it's also very important, as we said, to take in people, to take in help. If you don't have the resources within your organization, which we don't, I mean, we could sit around with our team and come up with suggestions and ideas, and we would pretty much come up with the same suggestions and ideas and solutions that we would have the last year, because that's what tend to happen. If you're the same people sitting and talking about the same issues, you will come up with this sort of similar solution. So I will introduce you. And from Project Footprints, we have 2 participants here. We were actually 10 participants. We have Adam Mikkelsen. You're a communication strategist and the CEO and co-founder of Odd Company and Raging Pig. Yep. Welcome. By your side, we have Stina Hallström. You're a senior mechanical engineer at Zenit Design here in Malmö. And also in the very center, we have Tirsa. I always say Tirsa because she's my colleague, but Tirsa Ramos Pedersen, and she's the UX designer at Tourism Skåne. And you've been highly involved in both these processes, both with the planning and everything that goes with it. And we also have from Nytänkarverkstan a team of 4, but we have 2 of you here today, and it's Jens Almqvist. You're a scientist behavioral scientist, the other way around, and a food columnist, along with other skills. And we also have Edith Salminen here, who is a food and culture strategist. So a warm welcome to all of you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I was thinking, I need the clicker. Here it is. So here's actually the team, the whole team. So I was talking about, we had 10 participants from Project Footprints, and there you have all the 4 from Nytänkarverkstan. And Tirsa, she is in both images.
The bridge between the 2 projects.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
And I just think that we have been something that's in common with both these processes and everything. Actually, all the design processes that we initiate is that we're using the design thinking model, and the structure of the projects can differ. But this is something that we had in both of them. And I just wanted to think, like, I know that there are probably a lot of you already know about the design thinking process, because it's usually used in the architecture and the design scene. So, but I just wanted to give a short brief. So Tirsa, could you tell us a little bit about how design thinking model works.
Yeah, at Tourism in Skåne, we usually go off of this model, and what we have done with both of these projects actually was I would kind of perform the first loop, which is what is the problem? So for Fotspår, we noticed a lot of littering. Okay, well, is that the problem we want to address, or is there something else behind that? So, you know, I would go out to Soderåsen, interview people, talk to different governmental organizations, talk to visitors, everybody, all the different stakeholders involved, and try to come up with defining what is the problem we should actually do. And that's how we came to trying to change people's behavior through, instead of like having this consumer mindset, but to change it from a different perspective. And then that's when we bring in these two teams to kind of do the second loop, which is the idea generation phase, prototyping and testing, and hopefully coming to a solution. I should mention that they both also, I think, had to take a few steps back, maybe, to try to get a better understanding, even though like we try to provide a brief, but I don't know, maybe you want to talk about some of the extra research that needed to be done.
How was it to get into the second loop? It seems like Jens, yes, you want to answer this. You're already.
Oh yeah, I want to help. So yeah, well, I think there's an unlimited need for research, right? So you always run into new things you want to explore. But that's also one of the good things with the design thinking model. It kind of forces you to go ahead, although there's a curiosity within the team or group of people working. You need to focus going ahead, and that's why it's great. But yeah, we definitely felt we needed more information, and we also did some sidetracking in the process, but the basic research was given to us by Teresa, and it was great. It was a great stepping stones for us to work from.
Would you agree on that? Working on product footprints. I mean, Stina, you've been working on with the design thinking model many times before. So, but perhaps you're usually involved before the first or the second loop. So, how was it to come in? For you?
Well, we work a lot with either there's an open problem or where someone else has already formulated the problem and sort of have a solution. Oh, we need this, but in red. And then we will always want to take a step back and is there a problem at all? And dive deeper into the problem. But I think that for the time limit we had, the preparations were really good. I mean, so we didn't have to. You had already talked to everybody. I mean, and then we could just go into ideation phase, and that suited me very well. For like it in the beginning, it seemed like a week is very long, but then time flew by so quickly, and we couldn't really stop ourselves from thinking about things. And so that was good that we had some preparation.
Great. Okay, so now we know that there were some similarities between the two processes, but I also we want to talk a bit about what the difference was. Because why do two innovation processes the same way? I don't think there is a possibility to actually do a copy-paste, but you have to, depending on the problem you want to address, you sort of need to take that in action, that in consideration. Thank you. But so what we had with the recruitment, we for instance had the differences then that we had an open call on product footprints where we went out to social media and got everyone that wanted to apply to this. And for Nytänkarverkstan, we did another way. How did that work out? We had a sort of more like a regular recruitment.
Yeah, Jens actually created the team. So
yeah.
You want to talk about how you selected them?
Well, in short, it was a procurement process. It was an open call procurement process from Tourism in Skåne, and I responded to the call by collecting a team from my network that could fill some of the competences that were given in the call by Tourism in Skåne. Yeah.
And what did you? What made you apply, or what made?
Well, it seemed like it is the whole idea of stepping into an organization and being like sort of a UFO flying in with your own sort of resources, and I'd say it's for most people with their own businesses, it's a really attractive opportunity. So it wasn't hard to convince people to come aboard and be part of the offer we gave to Tourism Skåne.
And you were one of the people that Jens picked to be on board. And,
That's
and
right.
what made you accept and want to be a part of this?
There wasn't really a doubt in my mind because this is my field. I work with food and food culture and beverages and societal challenges. That's what I do, and I have it's also about personal connections, right? Jens and I have worked together a lot, and sometimes there's just that one link that you need. The challenge seemed attractive, and there's one person who you feel you work well with, and then I also happen to know of the other two members, so I felt like this is going to be great fun, be with these guys for 2 months. So it wasn't a hard one to choose to say yes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of knew each other then a little bit. How was it like for Project Footprints? We got over 70 applicants. Everyone came in with a video, and how was it why did you apply to this, Stina?
Well, it seemed like a bit of a break from the isolation COVID thing, and I love Söderåsen and meeting new people, and it seemed like I was very excited meeting all these new people, and well, as a leader in Friluftsfrämjandet, Strövarna, I have the same challenges with like how do we make people connect to nature and feel that they want to take care of nature and everything. So I was interested in how that can be solved in a sort of a design way, I'm very happy I applied. It felt very strange to make a video, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because we haven't said that. Because I was gonna say that to give it a twist, these 10 participants, they stayed at a guest house close to Söderåsen National Park to be close to the place, and also we filmed it. We had a film team, and fun fact is that it's actually we're in God 18 studio right now, and they were actually also the one following us around for a full week in Söderåsen National Park. And how was that, Adam? How was it at first? You were just squeezed together with 9 other people, and then you were also filmed.
Yeah,
How was all that?
I think when I got there, and I think we all kind of felt the same, that we were initially kind of focused on solving something. We're all, used to working and like delivering deadlines and like actually delivering something. But after a while, we realized that, like it's not often in your adult life that you kind of mix skills and kind of, the challenge that we're facing needs everyone, like the end consumer, and no matter what your skills are. So we kind of, I think, found like a common path that, it's not about this solution right now. It's about like inspiring people to get that, we need to work together. And the film part, I mean, yeah, you got used to it. It was a bit annoying when we tried to meditate and stuff, but it's, to do it again. But it was fun, for sure.
And Tirsa, could you just explain a bit why did we film it?
I think the filming was kind of like you said, exactly. Like I don't think any of us assumed like we're going to solve this problem in 1 week with these 10 people. I don't think any of us thought that. Like it would be great, of course, but unlikely.
Maybe the first hour.
Exactly. But I think it was a good way that we could just kind of spark an interest into this, start the dialogue about this problem that there is, and that it's a problem that not only we are experiencing here in Skåne, but I'm sure it's something all over the world. A lot of the other participants come from the US, from everywhere, and they said that in their national parks, this is a problem as well. So I think we've gotten a lot of feedback from the documentaries. I think we set out hoping to just start the conversation and to show people that it doesn't have to only be Länsstyrelsen, the people who are in control of the national park, but it could be everyday people who could just do something to just change their own behavior and actually make a change. So.
Yeah, the film has actually made us, as you said, to use as a talking point to get more collaborations going and to arise the questions.
Yeah, I mean, you as our head of nature, I know you've been contacted a lot from different governmental organizations here in Skåne to, like, we want to collaborate, we want to work on this problem together. It seems like you guys know what you might be doing, let's try something new. And that's exactly that's what we wanted as a response, so that's amazing.
But do you also feel that it had an effect on the solutions that you came up with, being that close to the park and being able to prototype and test?
Yeah, the park was inspiring. And living there and not breaking your thoughts by going home, but by staying there. So that was very inspiring. And also the mini things that we did. We went to this mushroom thing. I don't know what it's called, not a factory or a farm, but a mushroom farm. And then that was very inspiring. And he was talking about regenerative forestry and agriculture, and then we got to eat the mushrooms at the end. I mean, it was very inspiring.
It was
no
everything was
funny
very
things happened. No. But I mean but we
we with the solution after the market.
Yes. But I mean, we learned a lot from just by experiencing nature.
We like cooked outside one time, made our own food all on the fire, so it just really gave you more of an appreciation of the place itself. Like this is like it developed that connection actually for us, I think.
Yeah, and
this place.
In our group we talked a lot about dead wood, or woody debris, as Navid says, and I'm with Friluftsfrämjandet. I'm out a lot and in forests and with the kids and everything. And then I don't see that much like old tree lying around with moss on it. And I mean, dead wood has much more life than wood that's alive. And it was very cool to see in a national park where you're not allowed to pick up the dead wood and use it for fire and everything. It really you could see that this is unique, and we need to preserve it. And it gave a lot of respect. And Länsstyrelsen has such a big mission to take care of this place, and it's so unique, and it's. I mean, we really got to step into biodiversity and feel it and live it. So
you would say that it was a good way thing to be on set.
Yes.
I just wanted to do the parallel with the Nytänkeverkstan, because that was actually, you were there for 7 days and you were living next door to the park. For you guys, it was more divided into 2 months, and you saw each other like once or twice every week. in different settings. Where did you meet to find the inspiration to work? When would you have liked it to be in another way, or do you think that the environment surrounding environment has an impact on what kind of discussions and
the
solutions?
environment definitely has an impact, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny that you asked this question, because I specifically remember one time we met, and you guys had provided us with your spaces in your offices, so conference rooms or meeting rooms. And there was this one room, we were maybe halfway in the process, and I came in and said, I can't be in this room. The energies are off here. And then the guys were really nice and were like, do you want us to do something? Shall we reorganize? I'm like, no, it's fine. We can probably work our way around this. But that was just to say that the environment has a huge impact. And of course, it's easy to say in hindsight, but maybe we could have worked differently or had a different energy in our team. It was great. I'm not saying that, but it would have definitely been different had we been at a beverage festival, since we were talking about beverages and how people behave in such events, right?
Full week of beverage festival.
Exactly. So they got mushrooms.
Total immersion.
We could get drunk for a week. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I'm sure as well that would have been different, and definitely there'd been some advantages of being closer to the actual challenge we were working with. But it was quite different, because like what we did was more like the project we were involved with was more structured like a sort of classical consultancy task. We were working weekly. We had goals. We were driven by the process. And also the procurement was classically like how you'd normally procure a consultancy team. So we were in a way different context, structurally and like emotionally. So I'm sure that made a big difference. Yeah.
And I know we also spoke a bit before that you thought it was difficult not to have clear deliverables and what you were actually expected to leave after 1 week of this camp. So maybe some kind of like
the sweet spot is in between, perhaps.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something for us all to think of.
But I think that's something, because innovation is something new that we're trying at Tourism in Skåne, and I feel like Fitspor was my first project as a new employee, and I remember the first day there was some tension, because you're like, well, what are we supposed to deliver? I'm like, I mean, I'm good now. Like you've delivered like what we've learned and what we came to, all the different things that had happened in that very first day. I was like, I mean, this is what we assumed. This is what we were after. It's like, okay, let me try to think of deliverables for you guys. So it was very, it surprised us a lot.
And I mean, it was, I think that was the main challenge, that, we were selected for our skills, but I guess all of us were a bit like teacher's pet, like we wanted to deliver like used to late stage capitalism or whatever. And then like when we realized that it's about like a metaphor for a solution, or more like inspiring as many people as possible, that, everyone can do something, then I think it kind of clicked a bit more when we kind of tried out, like became a bit more playful than competitive in a way. Because we actually started by getting divided into 2 teams and had a competition, and that that kind of competitive mindset was a bit, it was fun, but it was a bit weird, because we were like dissing each other like in the beginning, and then we're like, oh, we're gonna collaborate. But it was fun, but that's also something that was a bit strange in the and our team won, so
good for you. Of course. And we already talked a little bit about having the stakeholders in the projects like in the very beginning, and for this we actually had different stakeholders. You both had us, Tourism in Skåne, as the project owner, and for Project Footprints you had Länsstyrelsen Söderåsen, who manages the national park, and for Nytänkarverkstan you had Skånes Dryckesproducenter, who arranges a lot of drinking events every year. And how was that edit to have different stakeholders to and with different needs, perhaps?
I mean, it's of course very interesting. It's also makes it a little bit more challenging because you hear different wills and wants from the different stakeholders. But then again, I don't know. It's quite normal when if you're used to working as an external, you're self-employed. There's rarely a situation where there's only one person wanting one thing from you. It's you know, and it's I would say that it's rewarding in the end that you do get these different hopes and dreams from both, in this case, tourism in Skåne and the beverage association that we work with, because. You know, it's nice when it's challenging, and it's nice to try to find a solution that fits everyone a little bit at least, because that's the reality out there in society. There's no way, even if we have one target group, say we have a target group of women between 25 and 35, there's no way that a solution will cater to each and every woman between 25 and 35. So I think it's just a natural thing, and it's good to just kind of stay calm in that and you know, do your best in trying to navigate it. What would you say?
I have nothing to add. It was great. Thank you.
And how was that for you guys in Project Footprints? Because also working in a national park, there's a lot of rules. So even though you would come up with solutions that might, like, work in another place, it might not be the case for the national park. And how was it to have Länsstyrelsen in the process? Was it helpful, or what did you feel?
I didn't really. I think we challenged Länsstyrelsen a bit, and we didn't feel. We could see that they have limitations. Of course, they have limitations. They have this budget and they have this people, and they can't go bananas. And but so their solutions can be more who to collaborate with. Like we had this influencer idea to collaborate with influencers to get the message not to the people who already love Söderåsen, but the people who come from the city and don't know about the rules and but to communicate directly to those and like Länsstyrelsen had this their way of working, and we were challenging it, and we didn't feel restricted by them, but we felt respect for their knowledge and their work and their sort of burden that they have to take care of this, and also gratitude that someone is doing so much for the park and biodiversity.
And what are your biggest learnings, Adam, from this? Can you use any of what you came up with, or can you use anything of this experience in your daily work now? What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, working mostly in the advertising agency space or whatever, it's the people that you work with is so, similar. So I'm definitely been inspired to meet other people and kind of realize that you're not the best at everything, and you can't like inspire yourself by pretending that you have like new insights without actually getting them. So I think that's like my biggest learning, to actually look outside of your network. Same thing goes with all the challenges in society. You think that, I don't know, like if you hang out with a group of people, your friends are kind of the same, and you get shocked how the political landscape can look not similar to your views. And I think with sustainability as well, it's about collaboration and finding, understanding each other, and not seeing it as something, that you're gonna win at, or that you're gonna do the solution, or and I think we're all affected by delivering and being the best or whatever, and then we're all the worst instead because we're like a bit narcissist in the way that I think we also had like presumptions, all of us coming there, that Söderås and governmental institutions, they're not going to do anything anyway. So we were a bit, almost in the beginning, we were like angry, like, yeah, we have all these great solutions, but you're not going to use them anyway. But then we kind of, I think that clicked as well, to actually see that it's about like, I don't know, I mean, we have the facts, and we all learn the facts, and now we have to like find innovation and collaboration that actually is doable for all parties, all stakeholders involved. So I think that's, I felt inspired from that perspective.
Yeah, nice. Edith, what did you feel?
There's actually something that Jens and I have been talking about a lot in not only this case, but even other contexts where we've collaborated, is about emphasizing and omitting parts of your delivery. Because especially when it comes to sustainability, in our case we had the tourism in Skåne and this association, and the biggest difference is that the readiness or the maturity or the absorption capacity of a result is different in these two stakeholders. And with that I mean that even if we have one result and one idea, and that happens to fit both stakeholders, we might emphasize certain things for the other and omit certain things for the other, and vice versa. And it doesn't make our delivery different from one or the other, but it's just like to push the volume on certain aspects when it comes to that stakeholder and tone down others. And that's I think it's a good sort of tip from us that we can give, that it's not always about finding a new way or another way, but it's about tweaking it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Innovation doesn't have to be an invention.
Well, I mean, innovation, it's supposed to be something new, but it also has to be applied for it to actually be an innovation.
Yes.
If it's not applied, it's only an idea. So, I mean, the framework of the recipient of the project needs to be able to implement the idea for it to be innovative. So that is like fundamental for an innovation project. If you need to be really careful when you research and understand the framework of the recipient. And in our case, the beverage festival, I'd say they were a big organization without a strong core. There are 50 companies, and it's an organization that is what's the word for that? In the civil society, it's not funded by anyone. It's like an organization that is what's the word for that?
Association.
Yeah, association. Yeah. So we needed to be really careful when we learned about the framework we were gonna apply something in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. You were a little bit touching upon that, Adam. Like, it's not about us as competencies shining brightest as possible and showcasing what we can do as innovative as possible. Because had we done that, then it would have fallen flat, because it wouldn't have had the receiving framework. I said absorption capacity. we're talking about the same thing, but it's really important that it's not about us. It's about them.
Yeah.
That's when innovation happens. That's when innovation becomes an innovation, if it's actually realized.
And that's a good key, because my next question, Tirsa, where are we at in these two projects? Because as we said before, for us it's also very important that this actually becomes something, that we take action on it, and that we try the solutions that come out.
I first would like to say that I think these projects were so different because this one, I think, was more open. We had a lot more free play with this one, whereas with this one we kind of there's us, there's them, there's the people who visit the festivals, but then we also have someone else that we need to report to as well.
We had a short leash.
Yeah, so it's like all through the chain, and that's why this one was more restricted. But now we're hoping to move forward with this the solution that you suggested, and we're trying to think of like what can we do this? How can we validate this? Is there something that needs to be changed? Could it be a digital solution, for instance? We showcased it here 2 days ago, and a lot of people were interested in it, and we can see value behind it. We could see that this is something that not only this organization, but also any other organization in Skåne or any other person who creates an event can use this tool to hopefully make their event more sustainable. So that is something we want to work with further. And then with Project Fotspår, we've been having a few meetings and workshops with Länsstyrelsen to try to see how we can develop these. I know in the pipeline there's 3 more projects coming up.
These are only 2 of our innovation processes that we have going. And there's a plan on prototyping some of the ideas that came out of Project Footprints this year as well. I just wanted to open up if there's a short question or any questions from the audience. Seems to be crystal clear. Is there anything you would like to add, just to give you is there anything that you would like to send with us for our next process? Something that, or someone else for that matter, if they're having.
I just had an idea of what you were saying, Tirsa, that these 2 projects had a quite different nature, and one was very open and the other one was more structured. And I mean, it's not always about like what is better or the other, like open or structured. We were saying that maybe the truth is in between, but I just want to say that even though our project was heavily structured and there were certain expectations already set preemptively even before we had the chance to sort of begin, I hope that the result that we delivered is not just a result that is fit for this specific association, for this specific event, for this specific beer glass that we didn't say this, but we worked with beer glasses and how they flow through an event. But we're hoping that the result we delivered can be used in multiple cases, and we're hoping that another innovative team or innovation team or an innovative mind might see it and think, oh, but this could be applied for people with functional disabilities, how they can move within a festival instead of a glass. It doesn't have to be a glass, it can be a person, it can be a car, it can be whatever, and sounds quite cryptic now because you guys listening have no idea what the result was. But anyway, we just want to say that is quite important, right? And we had that in mind as well.
And time flies by quick. So I'm actually just going to wrap this thing up now. But if you want to know more about these projects, we have everything on tourism.inskåne.com. Feel free to contact any of us if you want to learn more. We are always open for new collaborations. That's also why we're here a little bit today to tell you what we could probably do together. And I just wanted to say a big thank you for everyone listening. A warm thank you to everyone here in the panel for being here. And hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.